Hey guys, it's Maymay and welcome back to part 3, which I never thought this would be a 3-part series, but it totally has become one. Part 3 of our Monogram box. So here's the deal. Today, we are going to make the little book that's going to live right here and the pocket for it. We're going to make the pocket for the envelopes, remember our happy accident, and we're going to decorate the outside. I'm going to finish it. This may be a long video. I'm going to try to keep it not too long, but it may be a long video, but this will be the final one in the series. So let's talk about this area up here. So I want to make a book that is the months of the year so that the recipient, my mother, Edna, can write the birthdays or the occasions she wants to make sure she sends a card to. And I want it to live right here, which is the reason we have these shorter pieces here, remember, because I wanted to have a little space in here for things to live on top. Our happy accident was my envelopes didn't fit, so I'm going to make a pocket for them up here. So let me show you what we've done. Let's start with the book. So you guys have seen me make brag books before. This is like the super simple book that I make that can be done in no time. So that's what we're going to do today. And I need this book to have enough pages to hold all the months of the year on half the page. I'm not going to do whole pages for it because it'll get too thick. I'm just going to do half pages. So these pages are 5 inches tall by 6 inches wide, and I'm going to score it at 3 inches. So here's what I did. I only need 6 pages, okay, 6 of these, but I cut down some 12 by 12 to make this book, which means I got 8 sheets. So I thought what I would do is I would do the 6 pages for the year, January through December, but I'm going to go ahead and use the extra sheets that I did, so all the way till 8. So she'll have a note section in case she needs a little extra space or something in there. Or maybe she wants to write a note to maybe send a card to someone on a certain day that's not their birthday or anniversary, whatever. I just wanted to go ahead and put them in instead of just putting those 2 pieces aside. So I'm going to be using 8 pieces, but you don't need 8 if you're just making January through December. It was a long explanation for that, but I thought if I'm working anyway, right? All right, so we're going to do this right through here. Now, I want to prep this before I put it together. So here's the first thing I'm going to do. The first thing I'm going to do is round all the corners. I just think it'll look pretty. And I think, not all the corners, but the corners on the edge. I think it'll be easier to get in and out of the slot or the pocket that we're going to create for it if we have a rounded corner. So at least one. So I'm going to go around all 4 sides and round these guys. And I can do multiples at a time. I'll do 2 at a time. You could totally fold these in half and score that middle section as well if you wanted all the corners to be rounded. I'm going to do some stamping in a minute, so I don't really want to fold my score just yet because I find that it's easier for me to stamp on very flat pages versus if I were to go ahead and fold these. So I'm going to go ahead and get my stamp cleaner ready to go. So there's some Squeaky Clean. This is my pumpkin spice one sprayed onto one side of my scrubber there. And I'm going to be using my stamp set called Large Never Ending Calendar. And I'm going to use these this font here on this side. So what I thought I'd do is go ahead and get my stamp cleaner set up so that I would clean them as I go and put them back onto the page. I've given myself way too big of a block. You don't need one this big. So here's what we're going to do. This will be the front of your album because we're going to fold this, like this. And so this will be the front. I'm going to start January, then February like this. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this up. I'm going to keep using the brown. I like the brown on the craft, and I think it works. I'm going to keep it kind of cohesive. So back to our brown ink. And on this side, I want to stamp the word January at the top. And I'm just eyeball centering this, and I'm not going to stress about it. This is just a little notebook. So we're just going to get this guy made and into our album. So that's January and February done. Now you would be tempted to flip this over and do March, but that's not the case. The way this book goes together, they glue together like this. So what you want to do is put this page aside, pick up a new page, and you want to do March and April right here. Another thing, if you wanted this to be lined, if you wanted to put some lined pages in here, you can totally use the pages that we made for the prayer journal. If you want to use that PDF, I'll link it below. You may have to do a little adjusting or cut it off a little different. I'm not really sure if it's exactly the same size. Or you could just go to your computer and just make some lined paper or just cut some notebook paper and put here, whichever one. All right, March and April is done. Let's pick up another page and just keep going. So there we go. All of our months are stamped, and these are our 2 extra notes pages here. So now I can fold these guys and get ready to assemble them. So I'm going to go ahead and fold my pages together or in half and score them. Now, you do have to remember to keep your months in order because we normally, you know, just kind of glue these together willy-nilly, but this time we can't because it's important that we keep our months together. I also did this so that the cover would be blank, and I'm going to put something on the cover. I may just put her monogram on the cover. I really don't know, her initial. I keep saying monogram. I know it is her initial, but I may even put her initial on the cover of this little book. I think that might be cute to kind of be cohesive. I don't know yet what I'm going to do. I may dig into the stickers from this paper pack and put some stickers on it. That'll be cute too. All right, now it's time to assemble. Now, I'm not going to be putting pockets in this. I'm just going to turn this into a book. So I'm just going to glue these guys directly together. If you want to do pockets, which would be super cute, you would just glue 3 sides of this and leave the end open to be a pocket. So January, February, March, April. That's what goes right here. I'm just going to stack this up and glue it together like so. More glue. And this one's going to be April, May, and June. Then I need July and August. So this becomes our little notebook. So we've got January, February, March, April, May, June, July and August, September, October, November, December, and then notes and notes. Now I am going to put something on the front of here, but I want to keep it kind of flat because I want to make sure this fits in the pocket that I've designed. And so now let's create our pockets. So we're going to be making a pocket for our book and a pocket for our envelope. Our envelope pocket is going to be thinner than our book pocket, okay? So all your measurements and things are on the blog post, but I just want you to see that before you start doing all your measurements because it does matter. Before you start doing all your scoring, you want your taller wide piece for your book. Now it's time to score, and the score marks are a little bit weird. I got some 8s in here, which I don't love. So this is what's going to be the front of my pocket. So I'm going to score on the back side. So this piece is 5 by 3.5, okay? With the 5-inch side in my scoreboard, I'm going to score at 1/2 inch. Then I'm going to score at 7/8. That's where I get to those little 8s marks. So 7/8, which is 1 mark before an inch. Then I'm going to come out here and score at 4 1/8, right here. And then 4 1/4. And that's it on this side. Then I want to turn it. This is the top of my pocket. So I'm going to turn it and I'm going to score the bottom of my pocket. I need to score at 2.5 and then 2 7/8. Now you're going to have a larger flap left at the bottom. I just didn't want to deal with 8s. I wanted to deal with even numbers. So don't worry that this flap here is a little bit larger than the side flap. It won't matter when you put your pocket together. All right, so let me fold this and crease it so you can see where all the marks are. So I'm just going to fold on every line. I'm not going to crease just yet. I'm just going to fold. Okay, so now that I've got this guy folded, we need to get rid of some. I'm going to draw them in real quick. A very rough drawing. But these score lines all intersect like this. We need to get rid of that. We don't need those bottom pieces. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go from this bottom to that intersection there. And then from this side to that intersection there. We just don't need this section, okay? So anywhere where they cross over, I did not cut that very straight. Let's try that again. There we go. All right, so anywhere where those cross over at the bottom, we don't need. I'm going to do the same thing here. And so this will now fold like this, okay? And it will fold up like this to create your book pocket. Okay, so let's get that one ready for the box. So this may be difficult for me to film, but here's what's going to happen. This little box is going to live about 1/4 inch in and 1/4 inch up, okay? And then our book will fit in there. We'll be able to slide our book right inside our little pocket, especially when it's glued down. So our little book is going to live just like that. Isn't that adorable? So I'm going to glue this pocket on. I think the first thing I'll do is glue my pocket together here at the bottom, just to make life a little easier. So I'm going to take the inside flap here and glue it to that bottom flap and go ahead and start making my square. Then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Just go ahead and put a little glue here and just go ahead and assemble this little piece. Now, I noticed something when I went to slide my book in that test to show you how that worked. These are a little in my way. So I'm going to take these little flaps and do this little angle cut here because I think that'll take some of that out of our way when we go to slide our book in and we won't get any resistance there. All right, so this little guy's ready to glue in. That's not too bad. All right, bring this guy over, add our glue. Probably gonna need your bone folder, if I can get that word out, so you can rub this down. So I'm just gonna sit this pocket about 1/4 of an inch up and about 1/4 of an inch in. And then I'll take my bone folder and press it. So that is now the pocket for our little book, and that will just fit right inside there. Isn't that cute? Let's test to make sure our box closes. Perfect. It is just right. We have that about 1/4 of an inch gap all the way around our little book, and it fits just perfect. Now let's do the same thing for our envelopes. So for our envelope, you're going to have a 5 1/4 piece by 3 inches. So that's the different dimension. And here's where you're going to score this one. You're going to score it at 1/2 inch, at 7/8, at 4 3/8, so 4 and then 1, 2, 3, okay? And then at 4 3/4, just like that. So that's your side pieces. Now we're going to turn it again. I scored this on the front side, but that's okay. And then we're going to score it at 2 inches and at 2 3/8. Now we're going to cut away those same pieces. You can see those score marks. See where they cross here? We're going to cut that away. We don't need it. Let's go ahead and fold and get this guy ready to put in. We're going to do it exactly like we did the book pocket. So I'm going to go ahead and pre-assemble by putting a little glue here, closing this guy down onto itself. Then this little pocket is going to live right over here. Now, the only thing you have to make sure with this pocket is that you clear your box here. It'll fit just fine in this area because of the way we assembled the inside, but you want to make sure you clear this edge. So I'm going to go ahead and put on my glue. And you know what? I didn't do that little nip right there. I'm not going to stress about that. These won't be going in and out as often as our little book will. And now I'm just going to glue this down into place. So we've got our pocket in, and now it's time to put our envelopes in. And I want to show you something. I worked very carefully on these envelopes to try to make them exact. It's impossible for them to be exact. You're making these by hand, so some of them are a little bit different size, but it's not enough to stress about. Also, the way I designed this pocket, I wanted to be able to put these guys in. Let's get that to go in there. And I wanted the envelope tip to just be underneath that pocket. See how I did that? So instead of the pocket, instead of it flipping out, instead of it hanging over the edge like that, these are going to sit just inside. And that way, your initial will show in the top. I think that's pretty. I actually like this. Let's put the lid down. Look at that. That's perfect. So we have our little book up there, and we have our little envelopes for our 3x3 cards up there. That's working out really good. I actually love how that looks. Okay, let's decorate the front of this. So I told you I was going to go to the sticker pack and see what I can do. So she's got her initial in there a lot. So I've decided I'm going to use the stickers. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little glue on here to help this stay down, especially at the edges, because I want to make sure that when she's putting it in and out of that pocket, she doesn't have to fight with it. So I'm putting some glue down here like so. And then this is one of the stickers from the sticker sheet in that paper pack. It's so pretty. And we'll put that at the end here. Run that down. So just decorating this little book a little bit. I don't think like I said, I'm not going to put her initial on this book because we have it everywhere. We have it in plenty of spots, so we're okay. So then I'm just going to snip this away. My long shears are not in my room. That's what I would totally use is my long snips to get in here, but these will work just fine. Okay. So then don't throw this away. Put it back on your sheet. I can put it right back here and use it again. Then I decided I wanted to layer it. So I'm also going to use this little strip right here. So I'm going to run another little bit of glue down. And then add this sticker here. So even though I'm using stickers, you can see you could just do this with strips of cardstock. Then there's this really pretty magnolia, and I thought this would be pretty at the top in some way. Ooh, like that. So I'm going to glue this one down on top of that. Yes, it is a sticker, but over time, the stickers can come off if you're not careful. So I like to add glue, especially when it's a gift like this. I mean, this is actually a book she could use year after year after year. So I like to glue it when it's a well-loved piece, or could be. Let's put that inside and see how it looks. So back to our box. Add our little book. Oh, it is so cute up there. I love it. Okay, now what I want to do is decorate the outside. This is the part I've been waiting on forever. So I want to add a closure that has a magnet here. I just think that'll be pretty. And I've been trying to decide what to do. I've got some definites in mind, so we're going to start with my definites, and then we'll go to what I'm not positive about. So the first thing I want to do is I want to decorate these edges. I think it'll be pretty if I put something over where those come together like that. So what I did was I punched out 4 2-inch scallop circles, just like we used on the inside. I thought it'd be pretty to kind of keep it cohesive. But do you remember how I didn't like the white edge of the paper showing? I'm just going to go ahead and hit this with some ink real quick. It won't really change the look of the box. I'm not really looking to distress it. I'm just looking to knock that white back a little bit. So just going to hit these real quick, and then we will put them on the edges. Now what we'll do, and you can see I've already done one just to test it, I'm going to fold these guys in half, just lining up the scallops, and let that be my mark there. You could score them if you wanted to. I didn't take the time to score them. This paper is really good. When you do it like this, you get a nice crease anyway. I might end up inking that edge because some of that white might show through. So I think I will do that just in case any of that starts to show. So let's fold all of these guys and crease them down. So now we can glue these guys on, and I'm going to put glue on both sides, after I throw it down on the ground, of my scallop circle here. So this side and the other. And then I'm just going to slide this around the box edge. Let's see if I can do this where you can watch me do it. Yeah, there we go. All right, so with my little fold, I'm going to put this on, and I'm just going to let it kind of decide where it needs to live as far as like where the fold goes. I'm not going to try to force that into like a perfectly square section. I'm just going to let it live on that edge. It'll just hide the workings, and I think it's cute. It'll kind of look like a piece of luggage. Let's do that all the way around. So there they are on all 4 sides. Aren't they pretty? I think they just add a little something there. Now let's talk about the top. Okay. I want to do a closure that goes like this. I'm going to glue this down to the middle, starting at the back top, and it's going to fold over at the edge. So I'm just going to get my fold there, and I am going to score it there so that we get a good bend every time. But I just marked it, I just did kind of a dry run mark, and then I'm going to come back in here and score it right where my fold is. And that way, it won't beat that paper up too much. We don't want to cause too much stress on the paper. All right, and then what I'm going to do really quickly is round these edges, or this edge. This is going to be the piece that flaps over the side, and I just want it to look, nice and neat. So I'm going to round this edge and this one. Now again, this paper has that white core, so I'm going to hit it with some ink just to knock that back. And now I can glue this piece onto the top. So I'm going to put plenty of glue here because this is going to be what gets a lot of wear and tear. We're going to be opening and closing this box a good bit. I'm not putting on thick glue. I just want plenty of glue all over the strap. So I'm kind of scratching it on. There we go. All right. And then I'm going to place this in the center, and I'll be able to move it around a little bit to get it where I want it, right in the middle. And y'all know I eyeball everything. If you need to measure that, measure it. I'm just not a measurer. That is going to go like that. Now let's put our magnet on to our little flap here. So these are the basic gray magnets. We carry these in the store, and what I love about them is they come in the package with your plus and your minus. So you see there's my plus, and here's my minus, and they're pre-adhesive. So all I need to do is remove one of the little pieces here. Should not use your scissors. You should use your pokey tool for this, but it's covered up on my desk somewhere. Can you feel me on that one? I know I'm not alone in that. All right. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to turn this back on itself, and I'm going to put this down kind of toward the edge there. Okay, kind of toward the bottom and in the middle. I'm not even going to add glue. I have not found that I needed to add glue. I've added glue in the past to these guys, but you really don't need it. So I've got one side of my magnet on. I'm going to add this one to it and then peel that backer off. Okay, so I've got my adhesive exposed there. All I'm going to do is bring this over gently and let it land where it lands and then press it down. So that's where it wants to land, and I'm good with that. And I'm going to press that into place. Now I can lift this guy up and then press this for real. If you want to add glue to that, go right ahead, but I think it will be fine. So there's my closure. Okay, now this is what I've done. I cut from those same ovals that I did the card fronts with, but the bigger size. I cut this piece to go here, and I want to stamp it with an E on the front, and that's going to be my box. So let me put that big E on here. So there's my E. Now, you could pop this up on dimension if you wanted to, but I've decided I don't want to, and here's why. If this is going to live on my mom's desk, I don't want her to feel like she has to be super careful with the top if she needed to sit something on it. So I'm going to glue this directly down, but you could totally use dimension. I just know that now Mama's not like me, but my desk can get very messy. And if I needed to sit something on this box, I don't want to feel like it's going to ruin it. So I'm going to glue this down all the way right here over the top. Isn't this a beautiful gift? I'm telling y'all, if you made this for somebody, it's a labor of love. It takes a little while. It's a 3-part series for me. But man, isn't this a nice gift? I can't wait to give it to Mom. Get that down really nice. And that's it. I'm calling this my box. Isn't that gorgeous? I love it. Let's open it up and look inside. So inside, we have our tags. We have our 3x3 cards. We have our envelopes for our cards. We have our book for keeping up with what the dates that we need to send cards for. And we have a stack of personalized cards for her to send out. I love this. The only thing I'm going to add to this is some baker's twine. So I told you guys I think it'd be cool to add baker's twine so they'd have it, whoever your recipient is would have this for the tags. And look, it will fit right there and everything still closes. Isn't it awesome? I'm loving this box so much. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I know it took me 3 parts to do it, but I'm pretty happy about it. This one was a little tough. Some of that early engineering was a little tough on me, and it might be on you, but by the time you get to this part, you really love it. I'm going to turn it upside down and show you the bottom too. I really love how this one turned out. Hey, thanks so much for watching, guys. If you took this project on, I want to see it. Head to my website, which is called MaymayMadeIt.com. and share with me the box you made and let me see what it looked like for you. And if you're watching this for the first time and you need to know about measurements or sizes or anything, you can check out our blog posts, which are always linked below, and all of the supplies and everything are included there. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Make sure you turn on that notification bell as well, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye, guys.